1971 to 1974. Strat-O-Matic Excel Carryover League. Brought to you by the Shrimp Trawler.
Game 186, Marlins at Mets. Welcome back, baseball fans, to the 1971-74 Carryover League. We have another series in the National League. The National League East, best of 7 series between the Florida Marlins and the New York Mets. Mets have been an outstanding team in the last few years. Won the World Series 2 years ago. Last year, of course, best record in baseball, but they crashed in the League Championship Series against the Cincinnati Reds, who went on to win the World Series. You know, it's not a bad thing for your series to end against a team who won the World Series. And for the Florida Marlins, a team that didn't exist in this timeline, of course, but they have a pretty neat team. They like to stay and hover around 500 if they can. And so it is sort of a David versus Goliath. But the early returns showed that both teams were playing mediocre baseball before this series took off. So let's see what has happened in this series, beginning in Florida. The Mets go down to Florida for games 1 and 2. Jon Matlack versus Bruce Del Canton, an off-season acquisition by the Marlins. And the Mets get their on-base machine going today. They would walk 8 times in this game. After a single and a caught stealing, Harrelson walks, eventually scores on a pass ball. Mets add 2 more in the 4th on a 2-run blast by Cleon Jones. Then they explode in the 7th, a John Milner homer, RBI single by Dave Marshall. But the Marlins always play with some fight. They're never really out of it seems. And they're always rising to the occasion when it looks like they're going to get blown out. They score 3 runs in the 7th and make it close, knocking Matlack out, one of his earliest exits in the 7th inning. But Tug McGraw is brought in to get a 7-out save. That's right, a 7-out save for the relief 4. Don't usually do that too much in the regular season, particularly in an opening game of a best of 7. But they did, and he, of course, obliged by getting that road win by a score of 5-4. So it probably means that we're not going to see Tug McGraw for a day or two, maybe just a day. But it's a 5-4 road win for the Mets. And as it turns out, they're not going to need McGraw moving forward here. Game number 2, the Mets and Tom Seaver rout Florida 9-3, and they come out of the boxes blazing. A Cleon Jones homer, a 2-run shot by Bobby Darwin. Nice right-handed hitting corner outfielder they acquired from the Twins. 4 for 5 with a homer and 2 RBI today. Another RBI single by Wayne Garrett, batting 8th against lefties, leads off against righties. And they pile on some more meaningless runs in the 9th inning. Seaver goes 8, giving up 6 hits and 2 runs. He beats Rich Folkers, who was the next guy on the schedule for the Mets, I guess. So 2 road wins for the Mets. Let's see what happens when we go to Shea Stadium. Marlins really need a road win in Game 3, and they don't get it. It's once again the New York Mets. This time it's Jerry Koosman versus Steve Arlen. Early on, it looks promising for the Marlins. A homer by Vic Davalillo, RBI single by Louis Melendez for 2 runs. But then, again, one thing about the Mets is they draw walks. And even though they leave men on base, they get enough runs with those walks to help their starters, Jerry Koosman in this case. And again, in the 8th inning, they pile on some more runs with a Cleon Jones 3-run homer. So Koosman's line, 8 innings, 9 hits, and 2 runs. It's an 8-2 victory for the Mets. They're up 3-0. And this is the magic part of the schedule where you want to put a team down after going up 3-0. You get a +4 net in a series. It's almost, for them, in the case of the Marlins, it's almost impossible to recoup the net -4. And for the Mets, that gives them a nice little pad as they get into the tougher part of their schedule with the Braves and White Sox coming up soon. Braves, White Sox, and I guess the Phillies, I want to say. Yeah, 8-2 victory in Game 3. So today, in Shea Stadium for Game 4, it's a battle of number 4 starters. For the Marlins, it's Ed Acosta. Pitched for the Padres in 71, 3-3 with a 2.74 ERA in 46 innings. One of those extra player cards expansion teams tend to gravitate to. You got to hit them when you got them, because usually they don't follow up with another good card. And the Mets' number 4 starter, Gary Gentry. You know Gary Gentry in the 69 World Series against the Orioles wins a game. And in 71, he throws 203 innings with a 3.24 ERA. And so he becomes the number 4 starter and probably one of the best starting rotations in all of baseball. Them and the Dodgers, I would say. Let's get started from Shea Stadium in a Game 4. Leading off for the Marlins, it's Vic Davalillo. 49, single 1-3, lines out. Felix putting me on. 1-9 single, we are putting you on with a base hit. Manny Mota, 49 is a walk. 2 on for Willie Montanez. 67 off Gentry's a K, and with 2 outs. It's Hal McRae. 2-3, grounds to short. All right, Wayne Garrett leading off for the Mets. 112 flies to center. Cleon Jones on a big series. 69 pops to third. And John Milner. 1-6 is a K. Top of 2, Jose Pagan. 47's a walk. Marty Martinez, 53. Left X. Cleon Jones, a 2-6 in left field. It's a fly ball A. Runner tags him, deep fly ball. Goes from first to second, eliminating the double play opportunity. Luis Melendez. 110 for Louis is a single to right field. You could run Pagan here with 1 out. He's a 10 runner, and you've got a 0 arm. But let's leave the inning up. Runners on the corners, 1 out. Mets will. Early in this one, they'll play it back. Ellie Rodriguez. 1-8, it doesn't matter. Let's take a look at Ellie Rodriguez's card. He was a Brewer in 72, hit 285. 400 plate appearances, always known as an on-base machine. Here, 1-8 is a clean single to center field. Melendez will not challenge the Willie Mays arm. He'll stay put at second base. Your Marlins have a 1-0 lead. Back up top to Vic Davalillo. 1-5, let's take a look at Vic Davalillo's card. Was a Pirate in 72. One of those amazing outfielders this team just had with, you know, too many. I mean, him and Gene Kleins, Al Oliver, and Clemente, and Stargell, and Rodriguez, Bob Robertson, and Richie Zisk, and Dave Parker. Go on and on and on. So he couldn't stick in Pittsburgh, so he ended up with the expansion Marlins. 318 batting average, too. My goodness. 1-5 homer, 1-10 double, and just like that, these Marlins, we saw this recently with the Giants. They went up 3-0 on the Astros. Then all of a sudden, their opponents, with their back up against the wall, just came out swinging and made a series out of it. Can the Marlins do the same thing? It's 4-0. Felix Mian, 34. Lines a short. And Manny Mota, 2-7. Rolls to third. Bottom of 2, Willie Mays. 1-5 is ball 4. Willie Mays having an incredible year of walks. He had 112 of them in 71 with the Giants. Ed Kranepool, 39 pops to second. Lee Lacy, 2-3 flies to right, and with 2 outs, it's Duffy Dyer batting 7th today. 3-10s hit by the pitch. 2 on, 2 outs for Dave Marshall. 1-6 is a K. We go to the third. It's Willie Montanez, 2-8. Second. Al McRae, 1-6. Triple 1-2 double. Runner at second for Jose Pagan. 35 is a K. And Marty Martinez, 2-5, rolls the third. Bottom of the third. Bud Harrelson, 1-6, is a grounder to first. Wayne Garrett back up top, 6'10", third X. Now you have bad defense is the trait, unfortunately, for the Marlins. You got a 40-37 there at third. They actually have a defensive third baseman on the bench today, but that's an error. Garrett is on, and it's Cleon Jones. 3-6, single on a 1. Lines are short. And with 2 outs, Milner, 46 off Acosta is double 1-9 is a double. Second and third, 2 outs for Willie Mays. Let's take a look at Willie Mays' card in 1971. 112 walks, and this card has a ton of them on it. Man, he is going to lead the league in walks, I predict. 18 home runs and a 271 batting average. Oh, by the way, he's a 40-year-old center fielder who's a 2 with a -2 arm. Though the Mets will give him some play at first base this year to preserve his legs. Second and third, 2 outs, big moment here. Here's Willie Mays. 1-7 is a K. We go to the fourth. Luis Melendez. 2-7's a single. Ellie Rodriguez, big hit in the second inning. 2-5's hit by the pitch. 2 men on for Davalillo. 57 is a base hit to right field. Melendez. 15 runner against the 0 run will have to run, and he scores on a 5. And it seems like Gary Gentry's just not cut from the same cloth as Seaver, Matlack, and Kuzman. Ellie Rod will hold at second on the throw. So you have first and second, nobody out. It's 5-zip. Felix Millan. 37 is a 6-4-3 double play. And with 2 outs and a runner at third, it's Mota. But 2-6 from Mota delivers an RBI single. And it's 6-zip. Montanez, 56 is a K. Not what Gary Gentry had hoped for. You know, he doesn't get to pitch very much. The fourth starter on the Mets is like the Maytag repairman, and he often gets skipped when series run short. But he got to pitch today and has floundered. 6-0 Marlins. In the bottom of the fourth we go. It is Ed Kranepool. 3-10 rolls a second. Lee Lacy, 66, flies to center. Duffy Dyer, 1-6, is a strikeout. Nice performance by Ed Acosta. No relation, I believe, to Cy Acosta, who is a reliever who pitched for the White Sox. We go to the fifth. 6-0 game. Hal McRae. 3-5. Single on a 4. Lines out. Pagan, 1-4. Short. Marty Martinez, 66, is a strikeout. And a nice settling down of Gentry. Bottom of the fifth. Let's pause a moment for station identification.
This is the Shrimp Trawler video channel.
Este es el canal de videos de camaroneros.
Okay, bottom of the fifth. It'll be Dave Marshall on the Mets. 66, pops the third. Bud Arrelson, 4-10. Center X. In center field, you got Luis Melendez, a 3-4 in center. And makes the grab. Wayne Garrett. 110 is a walk. 2 outs, Cleon Jones. 33 rolls to the third. It seems like the Mets have fallen asleep today. Up 3-0 in the series. Gotta have that killer. You really want to put these teams away. Because you know the Braves are a formidable team in this division. There's no guarantee the Mets win this division or even make the playoffs if they don't start putting the inferior teams away early in the schedule. Top of the sixth we go with Luis Melendez. 5-10 center X. Willie Mays out there is a 2 in center field. E11 makes the catch. Ellie Rodriguez, 45, short X. Today it's Bud Harrelson, 1-17. Gentry relying on his defense to settle the boat here. Vic Davalillo flies to center field. So nice getting through 6 innings after the early damage. Bottom of the sixth, it is John Milner. 2-2, third base. A third. Willie Mays, 48. Single 1-6. Oh, he gets it though, 1-4. Now he's an ace stealer, but he's down 6. So he'll just sit there, hope for a plus off the Kranepool card. 5-12, pitcher B. And with 2 outs, it's Lee Lacy. 68 is a liner to short. Ed Acosta, starter 6. 6 goose eggs. Gentry's a starter 7. But I think, one of the things about the Mets is they need their bullpen to get some work. So we're going to retire Gentry after 6 lackluster innings. Get their bullpen some work. Maybe get a rally in the 7th or 8th innings. Make this exciting. We'll go Danny Frizella. The Met bullpen needs work. He'll come on in the 7th. And he'll face Felix Millan. 58. is a K. Manny Mota, 2-7, grounds third. And Willie Montanez, 59 Ks. That's exactly what the Mets needed. They've actually got 10 in a row. They just can't get any offense going against Ed Acosta. Does he run out of gas here in the 7th? It'll be Duffy Dyer, 4-11. Right X. Right fielder is he's a 4-E2 in right. No, he's a 3-E2 in right. And he makes the grab. Couldn't get on base off the 3-E2. Dave Marshall, 59, second. And with 2 outs, it's Bud Harrelson. 63, pitcher X Acosta is an E0. Still have to roll for a road E0. And he gets a single. Lucky break for the Mets. An E0 road pitcher rolled a 2 and got the 2 single. So Harrelson's on. And it's Wayne Garrett. 35 is a fly ball to right field. It is the Ed Acosta show today in Shea. He's got a 3-hitter. We'll go to the 8th. We'll have Frizella continue. McRae. 1-7. Double 1 to 11's a single. Pagan will do a hit and run here. The hit and run is a roll of 4. That moves the runner up. So you have runner at second with 1 out. Marty Martinez. 48 is a K. And with 2 outs, they'll take him out. Frizella will leave after 5 outs. And they'll go to Cy Acosta. So this is the other guy I was saying. He was a White Sox in 73, 10-6 with a 2.23 ERA in 97 innings. Nice card here. He comes on. Good against righties to face the righty with a runner at second and 2 outs. And that is Louis Melendez. Pitch to Louis. 6-10. Center X, but they got Willie Mason out there. A 2E11 in center. But he cannot make a play. Oh my goodness. Everything is going the Marlins' way. That is a single that will score another run, and they're filing out of Shea Stadium. Disappointing day here. Ellie Rodriguez. 2-9, grounds to third. 7-zip. And Ed Acosta will try and finish this CGSO. Cleon Jones, any defense in? Yeah, we got some guys. The Marlins, they can bring a couple defensive players in. They got 3 of them, actually, that can all come in. Roger Repos will go into right field as a 2. Mary Guerrero will go in at shortstop, where he is a 3. And the other defensive player is Celerino Sanchez. He'll go into third base, where he is a 2. Trying to help this guy out. Improve 3 defensive players. That's very hard to do on a 20-man roster. And here we go. Cleon Jones. 48, single 1 to 6. Cannot get it. Rolls a 20. John Milner, 2-7. Strikes out. And with 2 outs, Willie Mays. 111 is hit by the pitch. Ed Cranepool, 58, is a liner to second base. My goodness. Acosta. The Acostas are on the mound. We'll finish. Each will try and finish the game for different reasons. Vic Davalillo, 6-12 left. Felix Mian, 310 walks. Mota, 37 center. And Montanez, 110. Double 1 to 18's a double. Second and third, 2 outs for Roger Repos, 47. Single 1 to 6. And he lines out. Here we go to the bottom of the 9th. The Marlins trying to get their first win of the series. 7-0 game. It'll be Lee Lacy. 2-3 flies to right. Duffy Dyer, 57 is a K. And with 2 outs, Dave Marshall, 1-2. Lines to second base. Not much card showing in this game because there wasn't much going on at all, folks. Pretty easy victory for the Marlins. A 7-0 shutout by the number 4 starter. This happens. You know, we see this a lot. You just roll over a team 3 straight, killing them. And then they come out and like nothing ever happened. And just flip the momentum. And the Mets have to stop that momentum flip as soon as possible. A 7-0 victory for the road team. A shocking road win to avoid a sweep. Let's do Acosta's line first. Pretty simple. 3 hits, 4 walks, 6 strikeouts, and a complete game. That's easy. Ed Acosta, Cy Acosta came on in the 8th. Gave up a single. 2 hits and a walk. Frizella gave up a hit, a run, and a K. Hit, a run, and 3 Ks. And 6 kind of yucky innings for Gary Gentry. 8 hits, 6 runs. All were earned. It hurts. 3 walks, 4 strikeouts. 1-009, 0-109. 7-11-03, 7-11-03, 4-7-4-6. That is game 4. We'll take a look at the stats for both of these squads before we approach a game 5. How about these Marlins, though? Very impressive for a Met team that was in 2 World Series, 69 and 73, and you have a fictional team, you know, kind of burying them in a sweep attempt. You know, and it's not like the NBA where you have a gentleman's sweep and you move on to the next series. You want the net result. You want the +4 in the standings, and the Mets can no longer get that. And the Mets are just 7-6 now. So they had a golden opportunity, really, to be 8-5 after stumbling out of the blocks and suddenly righting the ship and being in first place. And they still can do that, but they're just kind of an ordinary 7-6, and they got another game to play against the Marlins. And the Mets are hitting .244, and that explains what you just saw. They just can't hit anything. 3.67 ERA. Gentry is 0-2. Has given up 11 runs in 16 innings. So that number 4 spot in the Met rotation could be problematic if they can't figure it out soon. They have Harry Parker in the bullpen. Those 2 dudes could flip roles, but Harry Parker's not doing very well either. Offensively, Willie Mays has 14 walks, but he's 7 for 44. Very bizarre. He's taking a lot of pitches in the middle of that lineup, setting up the guys around him. So he's 7 for 44, but he's probably got like a 400 on base percentage. Very strange. Looking at the Marlins, 5-7, hitting .300 with a 4.58 ERA. Mets wish they could have some of these Marlins bats. We know they liked Felix Millan. He was a Met. But imagine Vic Davalillo. I mean, if they could just Willie Montanez, you can get some of these bats in the Met lineup. You got something there. Pitching's another story. All their starters have just 1 win. That was Ed Acosta's first win in his second start. And actually, Ed Acosta, after throwing a complete game shutout, his ERA is 4.5. So he pitched horribly his first time around. And I guess the best player is Manny Mota, 24 for 45. My goodness. Manny Mota is hitting .533 this late in the season. Wow. 24 for 45, and we're in a weather's getting warmer. We're in the May here, and 533 hitter. Always fun to see. So Mota is trying to cement an all-star appearance. Plus, he's got 9 walks. So that on base is silly. It's over 600. No home runs or extra. He's got 4 doubles. So he's probably got 1,000 OPS, right? Has to if you have a 600 on base, I'm guessing. But wow. So we have played 186 games to this point, a .255 league batting average, .319 on base, .341 ERA, and a .137 WHIP. And in Game 5, the Mets are going to ask Tom Seaver to end this thing. We don't want to keep playing the Marlins. They want to get this over with. Tom Seaver in Shea Stadium for a Game 5, and back to Bruce Del Canton for the Marlins in Game 5. If it goes back to Florida, Rich Folkers and Steve Arlen for the Marlins, and you have the lefties, John Matlack and Jerry Koosman, going down to Florida. Thanks for checking this out, folks. We'll give you the results at the end of the video. All right, baseball fans, so here's the box score of the game you just saw, the 7-0 road win of Ed Acosta dominating the Mets in Shea Stadium, embarrassing them a little bit. But the Mets, do they make this a gentleman's sweep? Tom Seaver's going to be on the mound against Bruce Del Canton in a Game 5. Surely they can do better than the losing 7-zip, and the answer is yeah. They do. And they flip the script completely. And they win Game 5. 7-0. Yes, Tom Seaver says, enough of this nonsense. Let's get rid of these expansion teams when we can. Tom Seaver with a CGSO, a 6-hitter, 1 walk, 11 strikeouts. Never really in trouble in this game, other than in the 3rd inning they had the bases loaded and 2 outs. And he struck out Manny Mota, only because, I was saying Mota was hitting .533 at the time. That's the closest they would get. because the Mets came out of the blocks with 2 runs in the first, RBIs by Mays and Milner, then a 2-run homer by Wayne Garrett in the second was the 4th runs, and they tack on runs in the 5th and 8th innings, beating Bruce Del Canton, who had a bad day. So your Mets do win this series 4-1. The only hiccup was the game you saw, the Game 4 affair, the live game. They mastered the Marlins the other 4 times they played them. And here's the current standing. So the Mets are 8-6. The rows are incorrect, as much more get baseball to be played. They're 8-6. They're currently sitting in second place, just above the Phillies and Marlins in a jumble. Braves need to play a lot more baseball in the staggered schedule. They've only played 6 games thus far. Mets have played 14. So the Braves have a lot of baseball to play. They are 5-1, but it's the ball's in the court of the Braves. If they just run away and hide from this thing, the Mets are looking at a wild card. But if the Braves start to stumble a bit, then the Mets and Braves will play each other, and that will determine the East, we believe. So thanks for checking this out. Congratulations, New York Mets. You do win this series. 4-2-1. Get a +3. Take you from under 500 to over 500. That's something that should have been easy for them to do after how they played the last few years. Thanks for checking this out. We'll see you next time.